Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this fine weekend. A kind of mild weekend, actually. I'm happy that it's been a mild winter. Now, of course, if we were down in Buffalo, we probably wouldn't be saying that, right?
This is very true.
They're like, what's mild about this? It's incredible that they had so much. You know what I thought about? And you know, because you've known me, Bob, for quite some time. When they had all that snow, I used to date a girl back, 100 years ago who lived on Grand Island. Now, back then, by Buffalo, right. And I had no problem going over the Grand Island Bridge. Nowadays, I'm freaked out by that, but I thought, who would go over that bridge during that horrendous snowstorm?
Yeah.
They had to shut that sucker right down.
Absolutely, yep.
You have no fear of that because you're a mountain climber. You're like a goat. I'm going to call you the goat.
The goat.
From now on. That's wonderful. Hey, we have some special guests with us today. It's Chris and Andrea DeVita, and they're the owners of Salt City Bread. I'm happy to be introduced to you guys. How are you?
Thank you. Good.
Thank you. Good.
Great.
Doing great.
You guys can get right in on those mics. Don't be afraid of them. Yeah, that was wonderful. Are you both from Syracuse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about the history. We'll let the girls go first. So, Andrea, go ahead.
The history of myself or the bread?
No, well, the history of you. Yeah, like, how did you meet him? And
okay.
You're a native. What high school did you go to?
Nottingham.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and he went to Henniger.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting
mix.
Sure. Yeah.
We crossed the tracks.
No kidding. That's something else.
Yeah.
So what part of town did you grow up in?
East Side.
So you're East Side.
Near Nottingham.
Right.
Yep, and we met on the same street, Woodbine Ave in Eastwood.
Right, okay.
And that's how it all started for us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And how long have you been married?
8 years now.
Okay. Do you have children?
We do. We have 4.
4?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All from her? Yeah. Well,
75%.
Yeah, right. You look wonderful. Watching my wife go through the 3 kids, it was like, golly, I don't know that I'm strong enough to be able to do that. It was hard enough just being dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's exhausting being dad, let alone being mom.
Absolutely. So you guys, what did you do professionally, Chris, before you started the bread company?
Sure. Well, I did a few things. I worked for the Department of Public Works for about 10 years or so.
Gotcha.
And then I got into the safety and health field. I did like training and all sorts of really fun stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Like that whole, occupational safety and health
Yeah,
thing.
yes.
But we started doing this, and it was more fun, more rewarding. I
Yeah,
should say.
sure. What did you do before this?
I worked at
Andrea?
Upstate for 10 years.
Oh, no kidding.
So,
Any particular?
neurosurgery, cancer center, and then the pharmacy.
Were you a doctor? Or are you a doctor?
I worked with insurance companies. So
Oh, okay.
anything that needed authorizations for, say, the infusions or medications, I did that.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what you did.
So with both the backgrounds, it only makes sense that
We went into bread. I know.
Once you go into bread, my goodness. Well, it's interesting because in a world that, has labeled carbs the enemy, and then, of course, gluten is the spawn of Satan and all that, and we know this, how do you make bread appealing to people, and are people buying it?
Oh, sure. There's lots of people that have no problem eating carbs, and we encourage it.
Yes.
So,
Well, it gives you energy,
and
right?
it's a judge-free zone in our bakery. So
Yeah.
you come in, you don't have to worry about feeling bad about eating the carbs.
Right? Oh, good. Yeah.
But since our bread is made with sourdough and homegrown wheat from Cazenovia,
Yes.
it just digests easier and better. And people who have gluten sensitivities or problems digesting wheat or bread or carbs, they can do it with our bread. It's really
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And did you guys have to go to any special courses, take a webinar, read a book, or something to get going on this?
No.
Or was it just your Italian roots that
I
let
think
you?
it was probably that. No, we had no special trainings or anything like that. We just started doing it in our house, and we would bake bread for family and just for each other. And, my wife, she bakes cakes and all sorts of crazy kind of cookies and stuff. And it's just something that we always did on a small scale. And then we just said, you know what, we'll just try something else. We'll try it on a bigger level. And that's,
There's a lot of growth that happened with this, and it took a while for it to evolve to what it is now. A lot of passion, a lot of time went into this.
When did you start? How long has it been?
Baking bread?
Baking the bread.
I mean, probably, it was 23 now. I mean, probably about 6 years ago.
Okay, so you've been operating 6 years. That's good. You made it past the 5 years.
No, we've only been operating for 2 years.
Okay.
We just started baking bread like 6 years ago.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, then you still have time to fail, so that's good. Good to know. No, I'm sure you'll do just fine. So, explain all the products you have now. For those of you who watch us on YouTube, and I hope there's lots of you, we do have some bread here. I'm going to hold up some, and it's just so I don't want to get my hands all over it. But
look at that. Look at that. That is my favorite focaccia bread. That's why I drive from Baldwinsville to Manlius for that exact thing right there with the Syracuse salt on top, the rosemary.
Absolutely. And look at this chocolate chip cookie. It's like chocolate chip cookies you've infused with steroids.
Wow.
That is wonderful.
It's part of the secret.
It has sourdough in it, so it has our starter in it. Yeah.
Look at this half moon cookie over here.
Now that's a half moon.
Yeah.
That is a half moon.
Because I've noticed they've become like 50-cent pieces.
You know,
in some of the
it's funny
stores.
that you said it because we were just saying this morning, this is how I remember them.
That's what I remember.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't remember them like this.
Jeez, that's something else. So, name all the products you have. Go ahead. This is your chance to shine and tell people what they can find.
Yeah, so bread-wise, we do sourdoughs. They're true sourdoughs made with local flour, right out of Gianforte Farms in Cazenovia. We use local salts. But yeah, we do Italian breads, salted baguettes. We do bagels and English muffins on the weekends, rosemary focaccias.
You'll do special breads a lot, like you did a, what's the one that you made?
Well, this one had Hobie honey on it, so it was really special.
Wonderful.
We did a honey wheat baguette. That was pretty good. Sesame braids.
Yeah.
Butter rolls.
We do Kimmelweck rolls. We do all sorts of stuff.
Golly, that is wonderful. You got to be the only ones around. I don't know too many. I mean, other than Columbus. I mean, they'll go down to Columbus and get
it. Sourdough.
But no, and their Italian bread.
They're very good.
Although very good.
Yeah.
And I do love my Columbus bread. However, they're Greek. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not really Italian, is it?
I think at one point it was.
At one point it was. But your Italian bread, it's coming from an Italian guy.
That's true.
I can't explain the French baguette.
Right, yeah, that's a little sort of Frenchy. Now, do you have an actual place where people can come to get the bread? Where's that?
Yeah, so the address is 8240 Cazenovia Road, and that's in Manlius.
Okay.
It's Route 92, right across the street from...
Stingers.
Stingers.
Yeah.
True Value. There's a little plaza. There's Gabrielle's Chocolates, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you that far away from our friend there at Cafe Kubal? He's got that place, over there.
So just a little further down on 92, right through the village on the other side of Seneca Street.
You got to make a left when you get to the... you should go up to the light and make a left.
Yes, make a left and then veer to the right.
Yeah.
I see how that
Definitely
goes.
worth the trip to go out and
trying to figure out what direction you were coming from. Yeah.
All right. And you can also go on saltcitybread.com, saltcitybread.com. That's Chris and Andrea DeVita, owners of Salt City Bread. Thank you both for coming. Now you've been indoctrinated into this whole thing. You can come back again and you'll be pros, okay?
Thank you so much.
Awesome. That's going to wrap up the local show. Bob, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This has been a blast. I appreciate it.
I'd like to have you here all the time. I'll talk to Steve about it. On behalf of the local show, Zoe Advertising, and Tom and Bob, God bless you and your families. Try and get some vigorous activity every day and help people who are less fortunate than you. I think that's important too. And the local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. It's more fun that way. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM and the iHeartRadio app, along with YouTube at Zoe Advertising 3809.